Time for us to talk relationships, and to do justice to that with us is Ido Taylor. She will be focusing, or rather we, since we're going to be having a conversation together, we'll be focusing on relationships in 2022 and how to adjust your mind for the new year. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mary, for having me, and a happy new year to everyone watching and to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Today we're going to dwell on relationships between man and woman.
Okay.
And maybe touch briefly on office relationships.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a new year, and a lot of people have New Year resolutions.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about New Year resolutions now. We're talking about approaches. So I'd like to say it's a new year. Let's try a new approach, right? And an approach is tentative. It's not cast in stone. You approach things with caution. You don't jump into it. So basically, last year didn't work out in that relationship. So let's try something new. Let's try something different, right? So don't be afraid to fail.
Okay.
Because newsflash, you might fail. So
failure is part of life.
Yes,
anyway.
it is a huge part of life.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up. Get up and do it again and try something else. Approach it in another way. You know, because an approach, like I said, is with caution. So you're trying things out. But then celebrate your strength, because you are bold enough and strong enough to actually try something new. Instead of having to do things the old way and then end up, you know, being disappointed
again.
Or, yes, again, all over again. So let's not start the new year that way. Let's start with trying something new.
Okay.
For example, you can have an approach to being less judgmental.
Less judgmental.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't be too judgy. So, for example, your boyfriend doesn't call you. Doesn't mean he doesn't care. Probably means he's been swamped with work. So how about you take the initiative and call? Okay, babe, I'm just checking on you. I haven't heard from you today. You know, and then he can give you an honest feedback and say, you know what, I'm sorry. You've been on my mind. I've just been too busy. Instead of, why haven't you called? Which is usually what everybody does. You just confront. This time around, this year, try to be less judgy. Another thing you want to do is be intentional.
Intentional.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Be intentional. So you're not excited about where your relationship is now. Be intentional about changing it.
Changing it or changing the partner? Which one?
You can't change anyone.
No, by changing the partner, I mean maybe it's not working, you move on, or trying to change things in the relationship.
Oh, change things in the relationship. You don't jump ship.
Yeah.
At the first sign of a storm.
Trouble.
You don't jump ship. You want to find out what's going on, what's bringing the waves, why's the boat rocking, why is the ship, you know.
Yeah.
So you want to find out stuff. You don't just, man aboard. No, that won't work. You know, so be intentional about making it work, you know. And that's why we said new approach. So try something new, right? Be intentional about spending time together.
Spending time together.
Yes,
okay.
Spending time, communicating more. So let me go for the guys here. I know a lot of guys don't like to talk. They leave that to the women. But this year, could you be more intentional about talking?
Starting conversations.
Yes, starting conversations. And if you're not a good conversationalist, act interested.
So instead of when the woman is talking, you just ignore her, or you act like, okay, whatever.
No, be intentional and say, oh, okay. And if you don't understand, just say, babe, could you run that by me again?
Okay.
You know, and then get
shows
clarity.
that you're paying attention.
You're paying attention. You know, another thing you want to be intentional about is your finances.
Finances.
Yeah,
I'm glad you lowered your voice there.
I said it because it's the #1 cause of friction in
the relationship.
Every every relationship.
I agree.
Be it mother to child, father to child, husband to wife, fiance to fiance, boss to employee.
Yeah.
Money can be a very hard taskmaster. So be intentional. Are we spending too much? Are we spending too little? Are we not taking enough risks? You know, discuss these things. Another thing you want to be intentional about is about being a bit more open, being more forgiving.
Forgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you will get on each other's nerves this new year. So let me quickly sound that note of warning. He will annoy you.
She will.
She will
annoy you.
Infuriate you. Yes. But you will give her room. Give her a higher margin of error this year. A higher margin. Just take it up a notch, just a little, you know, and say, okay, I forgive you in advance because I know that it's coming. You know, it makes that work together
a lot easier.
A lot more easier, you know, in this new year.
Okay.
You know, so we could go on and on. Finally, I'd like to say that in the workplace, be intentional about feedback. Oh,
feedback.
Oh, that word, feedback.
What if you don't get honest feedback?
You ask for it.
How do you demand honest feedback?
No, don't demand. Don't demand because...
But demand is ask.
No, no. Demand means it's my right.
Okay,
no.
Sorry, I'm thinking in French because it's demandé, it's demand.
Yeah. But then we're dealing with the English language here.
Yeah,
so.
obviously.
And you know the French people are a little rebellious, you know, so a little rebellious. Okay. All right, so, yeah, so don't demand like it's a right, but just ask very nicely, very politely, very courteously, very humbly, and say, maybe to your boss, what can I do better this year? I know that I could have done better last year, but I don't want to have to grade myself. Can you please tell me where I need to up my game?
Okay.
What can I do better? You know, if it's your colleague, especially someone who you're always butting heads with. You know what? The truth is, there is no human on earth who willingly goes to look for trouble. There's nobody. You know, everyone wants peace.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
So no one goes, you know, intentionally to go cause chaos. So if you have a colleague at work or some colleagues who you're always butting heads with, there's an underlying problem.
Yes.
Find out what it is. It could be that you're bringing out vibes that don't go well with them.
True.
It could be you're overly sensitive. It could be they don't know how to use certain words, which takes me to a critical aspect that, you know, is across the divide, whether you're married, whether you're dating, and that's applying tact and diplomacy.
Lots to learn, and there's actually so much more. You can check out Otta's page as well. I'm sure she has quite a number of stuff to teach you as well. Thank you so much for your time, Otta.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless you.
It's been a